before we play this, how a Minneapolis Somali community became the terrorist recruitment capital of the U.S. More men and boys from Somali American community in Minneapolis have joined or attempted to join a foreign terrorist organization over the last 12 years than any other jurisdiction in the country. The FBI stats show 45 Somalis left to join the ranks of either Somali-based Islamic insurgency, Al-Shabaab, or the Iraq-Syria-based ISIS combined. And as of 2018, a dozen or more have been arrested with the intention of leaving the support. So what's happening is, for those who don't know, if you don't live in Minnesota, Minnesota has accepted a lot of African, Somali specifically, refugees. This
guy's like the anti-Jim Norton.
Yeah, but we'll do this first. This is the biggest mall in America is Mall of America.
Yes,
in Minnesota.
Took place for the historic first episode of Monday Nitro.
It did. Lex Luger showed up.
Yeah, I remember that. And they were like, "What's he doing here?" And they're like, "I don't know. He's under contract. Signed a contract the other day." You guys, how did they not tell you?
So this is Mall of America. This is just a regular average day at Mall of America in Minnesota. Okay, let's play the video. Now I want you to. Let's play a quick little game here. I want you to watch this video. When you guys watch this video, at the end of it, tell me what percentage do you think was Somalis and what percentage is white people. You cannot count employees. If you see employee white people, they don't count. I'm talking customers, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, 2 white people. Now, for those listening via podcast, this is a packed mall of the Americas. It's a big tourist spot.
I don't see Lex Luger there anymore.
So far, I'm saying about 80% of the people.
I'm just saying, I'm not seeing a lot of Stings. I'm not seeing a lot of Ric Flairs.
No. It's a lot of Somalis who live there now. 80%, I would say. Maybe 90.
Well, and the problem is, too, and this isn't necessarily reflective of the actual demographics of Minnesota, but what it is reflective of is how people are just not wanting to go anymore. People don't want to go to I read an article recently about one of the towns in Pennsylvania. One of the towns where Martell used to live, about how they used to have like the San Gennaro festival, and then they would have like some kind of dopey like Polak festival and some kind of Irish and they would do these food trucks, and it was all like the little normally kind of segregated like Polish, Irish, Italian communities, and they would get together for a festival, and how it's let's just say it's all taco trucks now, and it's all halal food, and they were pointing out in the article that the locals, the people that built this town, they don't want to go anymore. They don't want to go to it. They don't go to it. So it's like now it looks like 80%, because the 20% with real balls that are like, no, I'll still go to the goddamn Mall of America.
Won't.
But there's a lot of people like me who are just like, I'm just not gonna go there. What's the point? And it sucks. It's sad.
Well, the reason they're there also, Michael Thomas points out, they're awarded $3,900 a month in Minnesota tax free.
$3,900
Yes.
per month.
Yes. Tax free.
And that's by the way, Minnesota's not exactly New York City or Chicago or Los Angeles. 39. I would go there right now for $3,900 a month. How do you sustain that?
The white people that used to go to the mall, they pay for it. They don't have money to go to the mall anymore because they do pay taxes, and they're the ones paying for it. So it's let's see here. Yeah, so so why do you think fucking Amar or whatever her fucking name is won the Senate? Because this is the town now, man. This is the town. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, Mike, 5 years ago you used to be able to go there, and it was a bunch of just families, American families, walking up and down the mall.
Like, if you understand that if I was like in a coma and I came to and they took me to Mall of America now, I would be like, are we in Dubai? Because there's like a mixture of white people, so I'd be like, are we in Dubai? Did you take me to some special clinic, top of the world clinic in Dubai? No, we're in Minnesota.
Look how not happy. These are the ones, the 20% that you said you're going to show up anyway. Look how angry that man is.
Midwest Roseanne over here. Dan, they're all Somalis, Dan. I want to eat my Percocet, Dan. Why are we doing this?
And remember, these are the people that are supposed to integrate in our society. They don't fucking integrate. They're living here just the same way they lived over there. They live exactly the same way.
Why are we doing this? Like, there can be no logical argument to say, oh, we need to bring these people in and give them $3,900 a month. We are fucking broke. Like, there is no, like, in older times, right? In older times and older empires, when a senator or somebody or some member of parliament came forward, Jesus Christ. Fucking, now I'm getting fucking spam calls all the time. But, like, these fucking people, like, if anybody said, like, in the old Roman days, we need to bring all of these Africans in here and we need to give them a bunch of gold coins every month, they would have just killed that senator. They would have been like, we can't do that. That's treasonous. Like, it's treasonous.
As of 2016, there's around 80,000 Somalis in Minnesota. And the way they multiply, that number might have doubled by now. Commerce. Somalis in Minnesota have established many community enterprises. In 2006, they accounted for 164 to 394 million in purchasing. Listen to these puff pieces. This is great. I'm just reading Wikipedia. This is the Wikipedia.
No. That's our purchasing power, you fucks.
Yeah.
They're taking our money and giving. That's not purchasing power.
Politically, a Somali American caucus in the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party was formed to represent the Somali community. Now they're forming governments here. A Somali American also chairs the Republican Party's Immigrant Relations Committee of Minnesota. In August 2018, Yamar Omar won the Democratic yes, we know that. Became the first refugees in fucking whatever. Somali immigrants stealing millions in welfare from Minnesota. They came from the. Whoa, wait a second. Hold on, I found a nice little story here that I was not aware of. This goes exactly what we're doing here. Hold on.
For 5 months, we've been investigating what appears to be rampant fraud in a massive state program. A fraud suspected of costing Minnesota taxpayers as much as $100 million a year. Our reporting is based on public records and nearly a dozen government sources who have direct knowledge of what's happening. These sources have a deep fear, and there's evidence to support their concerns that some of that public money is ending up in the hands of terrorists. We begin at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, where mysterious suitcases filled with cash have become a fairly common carry-on. It's the morning of March 15th. We're chasing a tip about a man who's leaving the country. Our sources tell us he just took a carry-on bag through security that was packed with $1 million cash. You can do that as long as you fill out one of these government forms. We're told these cloak and dagger-like scenarios now happen almost weekly at MSP International. The money is usually headed to the Middle East, Dubai, and points beyond. Our sources say last year alone, more than $100 million cash left MSP in carry-on luggage.
What we were interested in is where it was going.
The national go-to expert on what's behind these mysterious money transfers
has been killed by a Muslim.
Seriously.
is Glenn Kearns. He's a former Seattle police detective who spent 15 years on the FBI's joint list to send your money to countries in cash that was leaving on flights from Seattle. It was coming from hawalas, businesses used to courier money to countries that have no official banking system. Some immigrant communities rely on hawalas to send funds to help impoverished relatives back home. Kearns discovered some of the money was being funneled to a hawala in a region of Somalia that's controlled by the Al-Shabaab terrorist group.
Shocker.
So let me get this straight. Minnesota taxpayer are unintentionally funding ISIS.
We need to arrest every Minnesota taxpayer. No, hear me out on this. Every single. You hear me, Mitch? You hear me, Mitch? You son of a bitch.
Joke's
We're
on
rounding
you.
you all
Mitch
up.
doesn't pay taxes. He doesn't believe in them.
I just hide in the woods and carve things out of wood. I want to see the Department of Justice.
Oh, fuck, man.
Open an inquest and an investigation, and I want every single citizen of Minnesota arrested and tried for treason. It's going to be an expensive process, but...
Roberto Oscaro in the chat said, Somali terrorist voice, congrats, you just played yourself.
God damn. And we thought the Nigerian prince thing, guys, had a fucking good scam going, but this is way more dope.
This is fucking... Hold on, let's see where the money's going.
Al-Shabaab or other groups demand a cut. As Kearns dug deeper, he found that some of the individuals who were sending out tens of thousands of dollars worth of remittance payments happened to be on government assistance in this country. How could they possibly come up with such big bucks to transfer back home?
There's so many things that people just don't like. It's not even like funny. It's just making me so mad. It's.
I'm sorry.
It is so frustrating when these fucking leftists try to make you sound like you're racist or you're bad or you want people to suffer. We're being fleeced. We're being fleeced. And we're just letting it happen. And if we step up and say anything about it, we're racist.
Somebody goes, how is this funny, Royce? Because what else do you have left to do? Every time I was screaming about it, I've actually, for years now, even on my show and on this show, we played videos of what's actually going on in Minnesota. We've told people you got to do something about it. And you know what Minnesota did? They fucking allowed it, and they have fucking elected somebody. Yeah, I'm going to fucking laugh. You guys did it to yourselves. You did it to yourselves. I didn't do this to you. I will laugh at you. You did it to yourselves. Because you're diversity. Oh, let's be a diverse city. Oh, I want to be Seattle over here in Minneapolis. We need that. We need to be cool like them. Let's let them all in. You let them in. Or the people you voted for let them in. So I'm going to laugh in your dumb faces.
Yeah, and look at this. See, everybody's saying you took the honk pill. I didn't even take the honk pill. Royce took the honk pill. I'm taking the Charles pill, which is now I'm just going to play video games and just wait for the bombs to drop. Because I don't know anybody with an intelligence above 110 IQ that has any idea at this point what to do. They're like, man, what are you going to do, right?
And by the way, the people saying, well, how is this funny, Royce? Let me ask you a question. The fuck you doing about it? No, seriously. The fuck you doing about it? I've been doing this radio show with Mike for 2 years. You've been screaming about this shit. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. What are you doing about it? You're doing nothing. You're sitting at home making memes about the 14 words and saying that football's degenerate. You're not doing anything. You're not allowed to do. You can't criticize me for fucking losing it. Anyone who's listened to the show long enough knows we have been saying this is a fucking problem. Pay attention. Fucking pay attention to what's happening. We played that 2-hour video on this show where they followed that old man around who says, this used to be my town. What happened here in Dearborn, Michigan? And we're like, this is happening. They're taking them in under the guise of we're helping people, and they're completely changing the demographic of a state. And all of them can vote. That's the other thing. They can all vote. At least when illegal Mexicans get here, for now, they can't vote.
It's all about it's welfare fraud. It's all about the daycare.
To better understand the connection between daycare fraud and the surge in carry-on cash, you have to look at the history of this crime. 5 years ago, the Fox 9 investigators were first to report that daycare fraud was on the rise here in Minnesota. We exposed how some businesses were gaming the system to steal millions in government subsidies meant to help low-income families with their child care expenses.
This is a great way to make some money. I think it's kind of that informal word of mouth.
In order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low-income families that qualify for child care assistance funding.
Refugees.
These surveillance videos are from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County. They show parents checking their kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later. Sometimes no children would show up. But either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care.
Dude, you know, I'm sure you know of doctors that have done that. There's like doctors that do that and dentists that do that, get caught all the time, where they go, yeah, you know, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some, you know, we're gonna do some stuff, and they bill the insurance companies and they split it with the patients. Happens all the time.
And I mean,
whoa, what a
and I've
scam.
also seen like I've seen people get in trouble who were actually had good intentions that gamed the system and got caught. That weren't even trying fraud, but like I've seen well-meaning doctors and stuff that are like, look, you're just whatever isn't covered, but like you're gonna be in pain forever. So we're gonna say we're going in there for this.
Perfect.
But we're gonna get
example.
like I've seen doctors do that shit, and trust me, it doesn't happen as much nowadays. But
No,
back in the day,
perfect example. You saw that nurse at the hospital whose a kid needed surgery and the family didn't have insurance, so the nurse lied and put the kid on the insurance to try to help him, and then she got caught and she got in trouble, and
fucked.
But again, she was.
But these people are walking scot free.
Yeah.
$3,900 a month.
Kenneth Johnson, imagine the smell, $5. Pinoid News, $5. They need future generations to pay for welfare given out today, so the leftist economists think this will pay all their taxes later. Stephen Lawson, $2. Trying to get subs so I can stream again. Well, sub to Stephen Lawson then.
This video from that same case shows a man handing out envelopes of what are believed to be kickback payments to parents who are in on the fraud.
Yep.
Where was the money going?
I don't know exactly where it went, but it adds up when you begin to look at how many people are involved.
One recent federal case points to at least some of the money going overseas.
Of the United States.
I like this Mike
This is
Freeman guy.
video-
This is what we need. We need a couple more well-meaning Jews in our fucking country again. That could just go, I'm crunching the numbers right now, and it's like we're getting totally screwed on this deal. Why do we even have these Somalis here? I mean, we're losing $100 million a year. Like every once in a while, there's a Jewy guy that can't help but be Jewy, but he's a good dude.
Yeah.
This is absolutely ridiculous. The taxpayers getting ripped off. Just can't let the numbers go.
He won't. Yeah, just all about numbers. Yeah.
I know, look, it's only a couple of thousand a day to you, but it adds up. I'm just saying. Pushing the glasses. I'm just saying.
Fozia Ali being sworn in as a member of the City of Hopkins Park Board. As she was taking her oath of office, she was also under investigation for wire fraud and theft of public money.
You let it happen. You let it happen. Because you thought you were being well-meaning, and well-meaning Midwesterners. Oh yeah, sure. They just need a place to stay. They're going to integrate well here.
We just keep letting these Somalis into our neighborhoods. And look, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm sure they're great people, but let them be great people over there in Somalia. Just, costing us too much money.
State and federal agents had already raided Ali's daycare center in South Minneapolis. The business was suspected of billing the government for over $1 million worth of bogus child care services.
We found records.
So they come here. They started daycare service for only their people. That way they could fleece the government, because the government's not giving them enough money already, to then split that money with them. So you let them in because you thought you're going to be good people. You thought, look how altruistic we are. We're not going to let these people. And they come in and immediately start a daycare scam on you guys, and you guys give him money. I mean, what do you? Yeah, you deserve to be laughed at.
That indicated that she was collecting a significant amount of money for a much larger number of children than were actually attending.
That guy, by the way, when
center.
he was in high school, his guidance counselor was like, yeah, FBI agent.
FBI.
You look like an FBI agent.
You came into the counseling meeting wearing mirrored shades.
Yeah, and an American flag lapel pin on your
you're-
suit.
yeah.
You're a junior in high school. What are you doing?
You're either going to be a right-wing commentator or an FBI, or in the FBI and then a right-wing commentator afterwards.
You're either going to be an FBI agent or a disgraced YouTuber.
Yeah, one or the other. OJ's white Bronco. Don't forget, Ihan Omar married her brother so she could gain citizenship. So they have that scam going for. Oh yes, that's correct. She absolutely did marry her brother.
Did you hear Loomer wants to run?
Hopefully on a treadmill.
Holy wow, Jesus!
Sorry, Looms. I'm just saying, all that airplane food ain't great. I'm fat, so don't worry. I'm allowed to make fun of fat people.
Besides, let's be fair. It's probably airport food. Nobody eats airplane food.
No, you're right. Good
You
point.
wait till you get to
food.
the airport.
Chili's to go isn't super great all the time. Sorry.
Any of the money go overseas?
We are aware that some of the funds went overseas, which she was cashing out money from the business.
Do you have any idea what it was going for?
I can't say.
Can't say or don't know.
I can't say.
Which means it's still an open investigation. He knows, but he can't say yet.
Investigators analyzed Ali's cell phone to track her activities. She'd taken a 2-month trip from Minnesota to Dubai and then Kenya, staying at times in $800 a night hotel rooms. She used an app on her phone to bill the state of Minnesota for child care services while she was out of the country. Ali pled guilty to the daycare fraud and this March started serving time in a federal prison.
After being sworn in.
Well, I know, but to be honest, it's still just a drop in the bucket. I
Oh,
mean, we
fuck,
still have
man.
$100 million unaccounted for. Let's just fund all of Somalia, I guess.
I was talking to Mitch, and he was like, I was like, Mitch, how do you live here in Minnesota? He goes, no, but that's like in the city. It doesn't affect me. I go, you know, at the rate they multiply, it will eventually affect you. Like,
Yeah, but I think at the rate he's going to multiply, I think he'll be all right.
That's a
It'll
good
balance
point.
out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, then I got to get into his bunker underground.
Yeah, he's
his
gonna-
shipping container that he buried underground.
Yeah, within the next decade, he's going to have a whole fucking, like, what do you call it, type situation going on out there. Like some kind of wilderness, you know, like Little House on the Prairie type situation going on where they can all, like, you know,
Sits in a
make
rocking chair with a
jerky
shotgun.
Yeah, fucking, I think he'd be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Declined our request for an interview.
We believe that there's a scope of fraud out there that we need to really get our arms around and ensure that those dollars are going to the kids that really need them.
The acting commissioner for the Department of Human Services
was murdered. I'm kidding. I'm just expecting that to come at some point.
Told us his agency has 10 daycares currently under active investigation for fraud. We've learned dozens more are considered suspicious. Search warrants obtained by the Fox 9 investigators show each one of the suspect centers has received several $1 million in child care assistance funds. According to public records and government sources, most are owned by Somali immigrants.
Diversity. They're coming here and they're making it better, folks. They're making it better. They're making it better.
They've never made it better, though. You guys got to remember that Mall of America was like it was a very ambitious thing, and it was a very, I just remember being impressed by the Mall of America because it's out there in a place where it's not a huge city, but I guess it's just because it was central to all of the cities that are kind of spread out there in the Midwest. So anybody can go to Mall of America, but it was like this small town with this big fucking awesome cathedral to capitalism, and now it's just it looks scary, dude. It looks like a fucking bazaar in fucking Mozambique.
And no, but you're right. And then, you know, of course, what people tell you is, oh well, don't be racist. Who cares? You're just trying to raise. No, it's different.
But you see, I'm not being racist, clearly, because I'm a Jew. So unfortunately, Nobody has suffered more than my people historically, and I'm not being racist. It's a matter of numbers, Royce. It's a matter of numbers. $100 million. That's 1/10 of a payout for a 9/11. You know that?
I'm sure a single woman feels really good walking down this mall, right? Just, hanging out, walking down.
Can I be honest with you? I don't think they were any safer when Lex Luger was there.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know.
We brought it full circle right back to the first Nitro.
He body slammed Yokozuna once.
What is he doing here? By the way, you ever wonder? This has always been something that just rattled around in my brain. I guess maybe from when I was writing that show Jobber, but the idea of the idea of the ill-informed wrestling announcer. Why does the wrestling announcer never seem to know about anything that's been going on
never let
within the company? You notice?
Well, he never knows what's going on, but he knows the finishing moves of every new wrestler's the name of them. That he knows.
But he is the wrestling announcer in the last 20 years. The modern wrestling announcer has just been perpetually confused about every new company policy, every new addition to the roster. They never check to update. Hey, we got any new things I should know about? Do they just come in and get their paper? And when did you not read the internet that weekend? Lex Luger was clearly in WCW now. I knew it. Why didn't Tony Schiavone know it? It just seemed strange to me.
You would want to give him a heads up.
What is he doing here? He was signed last weekend. He had to do one more Raw, and then he was going to be everyone knew that. Why are you so ill-informed?
And there's also he needed to buy some American Zuba pants.